everybody. I want to talk a little bit about how to be single. And I've been single for quite some time, so I think I have a little bit of experience and I can speak to that. Um, and I want to speak specifically to Christians who are single. No matter where you are in this life stage, if you are in a stage of prolonged unwanted singleness, which is how I would categorize myself, if you are divorced, if you are widowed, whatever it is, if you are a single mom or a single dad, whatever that is. 1 Timothy 4:12 encourages us to be examples of the believers. And Paul is talking to Timothy there specifically about being very young and having older people kind of look down on him because he's so young. But I don't think it takes anything away from it to apply it to singleness. As a single, we are to be examples of the believers in word, in deed, and how we conduct ourselves. And so we should be showing people the difference that Christ makes in our life, because everyone has difficulties. All of the single mothers everywhere have difficulties. All of the people who are on dating apps right now are having difficulties finding the right person. Or all people who are widowed are having difficulties, are grieving. And so it's not necessarily the life stage that makes the difference, but it's having Christ in that life stage. And so I want to encourage you to show the difference that Christ makes in this life stage. And when I say show the difference that Christ makes, I don't mean put on a false front and always be happy and smiling and never share that you're upset or tired or sad or lonely or what have you. That's not what it is, because that's not realistic. And so when you show the difference that Christ makes, what you are doing is showing that you have peace despite the difficulties that you are going through. It's like the words of the hymn, "Whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul." We have the Prince of Peace ruling and reigning in our hearts, so we need to behave like it. And again, that's not to discount when bad things happen or to ignore them and say, oh, bad things aren't happening. No, bad things happen and I still have the Prince of Peace in my heart. Bad things happen and I still respond like a Christian. So if you're a Christian on dating apps, then your reason for being on dating apps should be Christ-like. It should be something along the lines of, this might be the way God brings me my spouse, and not along the lines of, oh God, I'm so desperate, you haven't done what I wanted you to do, so now I'm going to take things into my own hands. The way you should be interacting with people on dating apps should be Christ-like. All of that should show the difference that Christ makes in your life. I just want to encourage you, don't treat this stage as a placeholder of what life is going to be like until you get to the real thing. This is not a placeholder. God is intentional. He is intentional with you. He is intentional with your life. And so there are things that he specifically wants you to do in this life stage. So it's not about, oh, when I find my person, I'll really get serious, or when I find my person, I'll really do what I need to do. No, that starts now. And so we need to act like it. We don't need to behave as if we're just aimless. Life is aimless. We don't really have any purpose or plans. No, seek the Lord. What does the Lord want you to do in this stage? Because he has things for you to do right now that you will not be able to do later when or if a family comes along. So take advantage of being able to serve the Lord the way he wants you to serve him right now, and not wait until a later time, until you have your ideal whatever. Because we know our hope is not in a person, our hope is not in our spouse. Our hope is in the person of the Messiah who's already come and who is already living in our hearts. So that's what we need to behave like. So I hope this is encouraging to you. Exhibit the joy of God that you have, and live like you have the Prince of Peace, because you do. God bless you.